Hello, everybody. This is Boxing Bros UK. I'm Chris. This is my co-host Andrew, the Boxing Brain.
Hello.
Uh, Here we're doing a post-fight review on Teofimo's last fight against the Canadian, whatever his name was, Claggett,
Steve
the
Claggett. Yeah.
Steve Claggett. But firstly, I would just like to say Teofimo Lopez ring entrance was really, really good. I like the moves. The guy's got some good moves. And a little
Yeah.
remix of Billie Jean, and he came in and he was flossing, and he's got some good moves, good style. I like the dancing, good.
Yeah. The,
See
ta-
female.
the, the takeover took over the event with his dance moves, eh? How about that?
Yeah, and he had all them girls behind him as well. Like, yeah, he smashed it. Ring entrance, ten
Love it
out of
live.
10, Theo. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So, move on to the fight. Not so 10 out of 10. But to be fair, I think he's getting overly criticised. Obviously, the guy is a
Yeah.
nobody. No one's heard of him, which was it. That's his fault because he picked a no name with 7 losses. So
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
He dropped.
What?
He
So
dropped out
everyone's gonna.
the. He dropped out one of the. He dropped out one of the rankings, or a few of the rankings as well after the fight, I believe. So on my brief little bit of research, so yeah, dropped
What?
out.
Claggett?
Yeah, Claggett out of the top 10, top 10, top 15. So yeah,
And it's just like the guy had 7 losses. He's never beat anyone. He's never really challenged for any titles. He's not done anything in boxing, and he's got 7 losses. But he gave Teofimo, he gave him a tough fight because he just kept coming and kept coming.
yeah.
And
Well, yeah. I think the one thing I'd sort of say, I mean, yeah, not the best fight in the world, but I'll tell you what, his volume of punches, like, is, I think he's got to be up there. They alluded to it, and don't quote me on this, but I think he's got one of the highest volumes, per round. His punch output is incredible. So I'll give him credit there. Like, he's constantly working and he's constantly bringing it to Teofimo, and that's
yeah,
his style. And
and
yeah,
he just couldn't. And obviously, he was a tough guy. Apparently, Teofimo said he's a triathlon athlete before
yeah,
he came to boxing. So his conditioning is like next level. And obviously,
yeah.
he's got a fucking iron jaw. But has he got an iron jaw? Because I don't think Teofimo's got the same power that he did at 135. I think he hasn't carried it up with him because
Yeah, well, there's an
it was.
interesting stat. There's an interesting stat which I think highlights it, which is at 135 pounds his KO rate. Now I recognise he's gone up the levels, and we'll get onto the. I'll go into a bit more
Mm.
detail, but 71% KO ratio at 135, 20% at 140. That's a big drop off, isn't
Big,
it?
massive drop. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Like, and I just think like and obviously he doesn't. Teofimo doesn't fight on the back foot. And one thing I give him credit for, this guy forced him to
counter
fight on the
puncher,
back foot.
counter
Yeah, he
puncher.
forced him to fight on the back foot, and he did well. He did all right on the back foot. He got caught a few times, but where he doesn't normally fight on the back foot, it's like he said in his post-fight interview. Even though it wasn't his best performance, he's 26. He learned something. I can fight on the back foot if I need to. If someone's coming after me and they're trying to get me and they're throwing loads of punches, I can fight on the back foot, defend, slip and slide. So and he's learnt that now. Now when he goes on in his career, he's got that in his locker now. He can do that under pressure, under the lights. So he's
Yeah,
got to take a positive out of it, even though
yeah,
everyone's going to look at it like the guy's lost 7 fights. He's a fucking bum. Why did you knock him out? That's what everyone's saying. But you can't really say
yeah.
that all the time because the guy's got a cast
Yeah,
iron jaw. Whether he's got no power or not, the guy's getting hit flush over and over, and he kept on coming and throwing
and it
shots
was a
and making it
more
hard.
it was a more trickier fight than what you would first believe, because if you go by the record and go, then yeah, but actually he's more durable, and he really works his opponent, and I actually think it was not a bad little, I say a learning fight. You know, at the end of the day, Teofimo's a two-weight world champion. You know, he's certainly, but you know, he's 26. He's probably still learning. There's always something to learn from it.
That's
but
it.
you know, I think it and he alluded to this. And I know we're going to bring Pitbull Cruz into it, the mini Mike Tyson, as I like to call him, and. He sort of said, look, you know, Pitbull Cruz, Isaac Cruz brings a similar style, you know, and I've shown that I can maybe fight against that style. But what I would say to that, to kind of counterpunch that, if I may, is that Pitbull Cruz hits the damn sight harder than what Claggett does.
That Canadian guy, yeah.
Teofimo, I don't know if you've seen the post-fight interviews. His eye sockets were quite blown up, mate, where he's being tagged by Claggett.
Claggett. Do you know this? Yeah, Claggett.
Quite a lot.
Bob Cratchit.
Claggett, bang. But he was being tagged quite a bit, and he was not going to be able to do that against Pitbull, but I'm sure he's aware of that, obviously.
Yeah. Well, like he says, like maybe he is planning on. Maybe he picked Claggett because he's thinking about fighting Pitbull. And he's thought, let's see how I do.
There's more to it.
You know
what I think what we initially think. There's a bit more to it. I think he wanted a kind of high intensity, high volume, high workload fighter on the front foot. I think that was definitely. It must have been purposeful.
It has to have been their strategy because obviously he's called Pitbull out after the fight, saying he wants to fight. If he can't get Terence Crawford, he wants Pitbull, and Crawford ain't going to fight him because Crawford's moving up to 154, then he's going up to fighting 168 Canelo. Like Teofimo needs to forget about Crawford because Crawford's done with 147 now. He's finished with that, so forget that.
All these champions in recess, Chris, isn't it? All these recess champions, isn't they? They're everywhere.
It's daft. But I do think it's like in boxing, you've got to do even when you're a champion, you've got to do the matchmaking right. You know, like so if he's going to plan on fighting Pitbull next. Pitbull's no joke, so fight people who fight that style, you know?
Yeah.
To get used to fighting that style, especially Teofimo, because he's normally the hunter. He's not normally the one on the back foot, so he's going to need that in his arsenal. He's going to fight. So if that's what they've done, it was a good learning fight to prepare yourself for Pitbull. It's like say you're going to fight like what Joshua should have fought Warling as a warm-up fight before he fought Usyk to prepare him for Usyk. Tricky stuff. You know, you got to have the right fights. Yeah. In people's careers, that's what people do.
Yeah.
You got to match the fighters right and help make sure they're prepared for the tough challenges. And obviously, Pitbull's no joke. And he hits a lot harder than that kid. So he needs to slip and slide a lot better. And you know that Claggett, do you know what he was doing? So, sorry, this is really sneaky, I don't know if anyone noticed it. So, when he was throwing the hooks, you know how Tyson Fury got his elbow cut in sparring? This kid, he was hitting him with a punch and following through with the elbow. He did it a few times.
He was doing a KSI, man.
And the ref didn't see it. He did it, and the ref didn't catch it. He did it a few times, I noticed it a few times where he's hit him and he's followed through with the elbow, but he did it ever so slightly, so you can't really notice. And I think that's why Teofimo's eyes are a bit fucked up.
Yeah.
They did see him do that a few times.
You got to do what you got to do, haven't you? You know, sometimes try and old man and do a bit of dirty tactics, bit of dark arts. You know, it's at the end of the day. You know, Teofimo Lopez is a very quality, high level fighter. You know, good operator, good technician, and you know, Pitbull Cruz. You know, if the fight does happen, has got to go in there and just try and rough him up. And we saw, you know, I was looking at I saw the Rolly Romero fight again. We absolutely destroyed Rolly. Absolutely destroyed him.
Yeah.
I think the ref saved his life in there, to be honest. But you look at the Tank Davis fight, right? I mean, I think it was like 115, 130, 116, 11. A lot of people saw the commentary gassing Tank up. I think that was kind of a lot closer fight, actually, looking back.
I think it was really, really close. And to be honest, it could have gone either way. I think because Tank's the money man, obviously, well, they say he's the money man. I doubt it very much. But we're going to do a video about that.
Yeah,
But I just think like
PPV number. Yeah.
no, I think it could have gone either way. It was that close, you know. Like
The
just
thing is,
edged it, but it was close.
you know as well as I do, Chris, is that when you're the A side, though, you get that little rub of the green, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, always. Oh, look at Mayweather. So many rubs of the green against De La
Yeah.
Hoya, against Marcus Maidana. Like he always got the rub of the green. Even Canelo as well against Lara. He got the rub of the green. Like you always.
There was he's had some close fights in there, hasn't he? But I'd say
Yeah.
the other thing as well to add is that moving up to since then, obviously won his title at super light against Romero, but he most certainly, I think, he's quite clearly carries that power moving up Pitbull Cruz.
Oh yes.
So I think it's an interesting matchup. I know it isn't confirmed yet, is it? But I think they both want to fight.
It's just a call out, really. Like
so we're not saying that they're going to fight. We'll maybe, depending on how long, we're already sort of 11 minutes in, but we'll maybe sort of mention a few names, a few fights.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what.
Might have.
I watched an interview with Eddie Hearn today, and he said the winner of Prograis Catterall, Teofimo next. Wants Teofimo next.
There you go.
And
so that
and they'll do it, and they'll do it in America. Even if it's Catterall, he will fight Teofimo in his backyard. Catterall's already said, "I'll go to America."
Catterall's third in almost all of the governing bodies, if not all of them, of all the rankings.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that probably because it's going to be it's not going to be for a while. I reckon is going to. I reckon they'll make it like a mandatory or something for one of the titles. Either who's that one other guy, that Aussie that won? Parlo? Is it Parlo?
Oh, Liam Parro.
Parro, yeah. So Parro, Eddie Hearn said either Parro or Teofimo. They're next. So the winner of Prograis, and I think Catterall's going to win. And you know what? I think Catterall will beat Teofimo Lopez. I really do, because Teofimo, like he'll come forward like he normally does, like because obviously Catterall's not going to push him back, and I think Catterall's got the skills. He's got the silky skills. He's young and fresh enough. He's having the right fights, like a learning fight against Prograis. Someone's going to come at him, and and I think he's ready for that level. I think I might be being biased because I'm British, but I'm giving, and I'm from Lancashire, and he's from Lancashire as well. He's from Chorley, I'm from Blackpool. But I'm telling you, I think Catterall will do it. You heard it here first.
That'd make Josh Taylor even more pissed off, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But But the one I wanted to quickly add in, actually, just because I wrote some notes here, I did want to do. We're talking about the kind of power carrying up to super light and a bit of a concern for Teofimo. What I would say, though, is I was looking back at his last few fights. You think Claggett, durable, unanimous decision. Ortiz, good fighter, unanimous decision. Josh Taylor, unanimous decision. Sandor Martin, split decision. Knocked out Campa. Loma, unanimous decision. And Comey for the IBF, he knocked round 2. So the ones we didn't get the KO were pretty high level operators. There's some high level operators in there. So I just wanted to add that in there to give him a little bit of a kind of license.
You can't really when you're fighting elite fighters. Yeah, you can be the hardest puncher in the world. You're not always going to knock them out. So, when you're in the elite levels, they're not going to allow themselves to be knocked out.
Yeah, Josh Taylor and Loma in particular. So what I would say is you can look at that stat and it's clear there's obviously he's not carrying that power, but there have been a few guys in there, more than a few guys, where you probably wouldn't expect them to be knocked out anyway. So I just wanted to add that in there to balance out the opinions a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And but I think because the thing is, like, because Teo, he's only talked about unifying with Cruz. he told Tank Davis he's a bitch and he'll fight Tank Davis, but Tank Davis won't fight Teofimo Lopez because he's just a waste of space. And just wants to sit over in the PBC and fight idiots. So, but he said he'll fight Cruz, or he wants to fight Crawford. But if Catterall becomes mandatory, he has to fight him. He has to, or give up your belt. So I really, really, really want Catterall to get the Teofimo fight because it's just one of them things. I just got a feeling. I think he can beat him. I really do.
I was looking at some of the options outside of that, like where does he go? And obviously there's a few in there. Puello maybe. Sandor Martin's number one with the WBC, but then he's fought him and he won a split decision over him, didn't he?
He's the WBC champion.
Well, the WBC it was vacant, but it's the is Puello? Did Puello pick up the title?
Yeah. And the Sandor Martin fight.
He had a very close fight himself, Puello, and so there's maybe that one. There's maybe that one that he could go. But it's not a terribly exciting fight, Chris. Is it that one?
No, I don't think he wants that fight. That's why he said he wants Isaac Cruz or Terence Crawford. That's what he said. Yeah, but don't forget. Yeah, the Sandor Martin fight. Don't forget, Teofimo got booed at the end of that. Everyone thought he lost. It was a very, very it was a boring shit fight, and everyone was booing, like the American fans booing people again. But I don't know. But anyway,
Sandor Martin's he's a tricky guy though. Like he's a tough guy to beat. Sandor, he's very experienced. But again, that's maybe a topic for tomorrow with the Americans. They do seem to get displeased rather quickly.
They're not backing their guys. Just booing them all the time. But anyway, America's a big place. So, anyway, we'll get onto that tomorrow. In conclusion, either Teofimo next fight, Catterall, or unify with Isaac Cruz. Obviously, we want to see the Cruz fight, but if not, the next best fight is Catterall, I think.
And I don't know if I'm leading this with my heart, but when the Cruz Teofimo fight happens, which I mean that's going to do such good numbers, and that's such a good, interesting fight. You got the slick counter puncher and the mini Mike Tyson. That's what I'm calling him now. He just reminds me of small Mike Tyson.
The Pitbull,
really is. I'll tell you what, that's one of the most apt names for a fighter I've ever seen. I tell you, even looks like one. I think he gets to Teofimo, and I think, I know where this is. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I think he maybe stops Teofimo. I'm putting it out there now. I think he might stop him. Maybe, just maybe.
Well, if you think about it, Cambosa's put him down, didn't he? Flash knockdown. So he can't go down. Just like anyone can go down. Obviously,
he's been down a couple of times in his career, Chris. Actually, 2 or 3 times, I think. Been down a few times.
Not from the biggest punches, and where Pitbull grinds you down, and obviously we've seen his back foot game, and it kind of needs a bit of improvement because obviously this no name with 7 losses really stuck it on him. So
he did,
and obviously Cruz is faster, hits harder, and he'll hit you everywhere. He'll bang you on the hips, bang you on the arms, bang you in the shoulders. So you can't just lean on the ropes, and you're not safe.
If you go back and watch that Rolly fight against Rolly Romero fight against
bad.
The way he kind of timed that left hook, and he showed a bit of maturity in there as well, like brilliant. There was some real brilliant hits in there. I saw a little bit of kind of maturity from him and development. So, and I think he'd learned obviously from the Tank Davis fight a little bit as well. So they're both 26 as well. So. Both champions, both moved up. So it's a very engaging, interesting matchup.
Yeah, let's try and get undisputed at 140. One of them at least.
Oh,
and obviously, Teofimo doesn't really want it. He just wants the big fights, like at 140 or 147. But maybe one of them should, for the Wonga. But at least one of them try. I think that's it. To conclude, guys.
Yeah, nice video, nice one. That was good.
Okay, this is Boxing Bros UK. Look out on our community page. We got something special coming tomorrow, where we're going to be. Well, yeah, just look out for the community page. Tune in tomorrow for our video about American fans. All right,
Could
Boxing
get a
Bros
bit
UK.
spicy. Could get a bit spicy.
Yeah. Subscribe, like, and subscribe, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.